Welcome to the DuskMan. Today, we strip away the romance and look at the brutal, unpolished reality of late-life love. A reality that breaks most men before they even reach it. Our storyteller today is Arthur. He is 82 years old, and he carries 60 years of marriage on his back. Listen closely.
I am 82 years old. I have been married to my wife Helen for exactly 60 years. I've buried 2 brothers, survived a heart attack, and watched the world I knew burn to the ground. But nothing was harder than what I do every single day in this house. I'm going to tell you the raw, unfiltered truth about late-life love that the movies, the poets, and your expensive marriage counselors will never tell you, because they want to sell you a fantasy. This is the exact reason why most of you men in your 50s are staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering why you feel so damn empty. Look at my hands. They tremble when I pour my morning coffee. The knuckles are swollen. The house smells like bitter ointment and old wood. The lights are dim, and the silence is so thick you can choke on it. I sit here, listening to the slow, heavy breathing of a woman who no longer remembers my name on her bad days. If you are thinking about packing your bags, or if you are looking at your phone right now, searching for a distraction from your own marriage, do not look away, because what I am about to reveal is the only reason you won't end up dying alone in a sterile room. Let me take you back to 1978. I was 34 years old. The prime of my life. I was working 60-hour weeks at an engineering firm, building a name for myself. In my mind, I was the absolute center of the universe. I was the provider, the king of my little suburban castle, and like most kings, I was a blind, arrogant fool. I remember a Tuesday evening in November. It was sleeting outside, the kind of wet, bitter cold that sinks right into your bones. I pulled into the driveway, the tires crunching over the wet gravel. I sat in the car for 5 whole minutes, smoking half a cigarette, resenting the fact that I had to go inside. That is the first sin of a young man, isn't it? Resenting the very family he claims to be working so hard for. I walked through the front door. The house smelled like damp wool and burnt onions. Helen was standing by the stove. She had spent the last 12 hours chasing 3 toddlers, scrubbing floors, keeping our world from spinning off its axis. But I didn't see that. All I saw was that my dinner wasn't on the table yet. I took off my heavy wet coat and tossed it onto the armchair. I didn't hang it up. I expected her to do it. I sat down at the head of the table, poured myself 3 fingers of cheap bourbon, and waited. The ice clinked against the glass. Tick, tick, like a bomb counting down. When she finally brought the plate over, her hair was sticking to her forehead with sweat. She smelled like baby powder and exhaustion. The pot roast was dry. The potatoes were cold. I looked at the food, then I looked at her. I didn't yell. Yelling would have been too honest. Instead, I used that quiet, disappointed voice that cuts deeper than any knife. I asked her what she had been doing all day that she couldn't manage a hot meal. I still see her face. Right now, nearly 50 years later, it haunts me in this dark room. She didn't cry. She didn't fight back. She just wiped her red, cracked hands on her faded yellow apron. Her shoulders, her small, delicate shoulders, just sank. It was the physical collapse of a woman's spirit. She whispered an apology, took my plate, and walked back to the kitchen. I heard the water running. I heard the soft scraping of the sponge against the porcelain, and I just sat there, drinking my bourbon, feeling completely justified. I thought to myself, I work hard. I deserve to be taken care of. I deserve to receive. That was the lie we all bought into, the great American illusion of manhood. We thought marriage was a transaction. We thought paying the mortgage bought us immunity from being a decent human being. We took the devotion of good women and treated it like room service. We demanded perfection from wives who were barely holding themselves together. We ignored the silent pleas in their eyes, the way they would pause by the window, staring out into the dark yard, wondering where the boy they married had gone. You think you're a man because you provide? Any fool can earn a paycheck, but it takes a terrifying amount of courage to look at the woman standing at the sink, drowning in the mundane reality of the life you built together, and choose to lift her burden instead of adding to it. I didn't have that courage then, and the ghost of that Tuesday night, it sits in that empty chair right across from me every single day. Fast forward to tonight, 2024. The house is completely dark, except for the harsh blue glow of the muted television. It's playing a rerun of a baseball game from a decade ago. I sit in my chair, staring at the screen, but I'm not watching. My phone sits on the small table next to my pill organizer. 4 hours ago, I typed a message to my eldest son. It took me 10 minutes with these shaking thumbs just to write, "Thinking of you. Call when you have a minute." Nothing. Just a blank black rectangle. No notifications. No calls. I can't blame him. He is out there conquering his world, just like his old man taught him. I taught him that work comes first, that success is measured by the sweat on your brow and the zeros in your bank account. I taught him how to be a provider, but I forgot to teach him how to be present. That's the legacy of my arrogance. The silence in this house is a living, breathing thing. It presses against my chest. At 8 p.m., I shuffle into the kitchen, the exact same kitchen where she stood in 1978. I open the freezer, pull out a plastic tray of macaroni and cheese, and put it in the microwave. The mechanical hum of the machine is the loudest noise in my entire day. When it finally beeps, it echoes through the empty hallway like a morning bell. I take my sad, steaming plastic tray to the head of the dining table. I sit in the exact same spot where I used to demand perfection. But there is no cheap bourbon tonight, just a glass of tap water and 2 white pills for my blood pressure. I look at her chair at the other end. It's empty, and the guilt, it sits heavy in my stomach, rotting away whatever appetite I had left, because she isn't making dinner anymore. She is in the converted guest room downstairs. I walk down the hall. Every step sends a sharp electric pain shooting up my knees. The air grows heavy. The smell hits me before I even open the door. It's a clinical mixture of rubbing alcohol, prescribed ointment, and the undeniable lingering scent of human decay. I push the door open. There she is, my beautiful Helen, the woman I promised to protect. She is lying in a mechanical hospital bed, dwarfed by the white sheets. A machine hums rhythmically, pumping oxygen through a plastic tube into her nose. This right here is late life love. It's not holding hands on a pristine beach while a sunset paints the sky. It is not a cruise to the Bahamas. It is endurance, pure, agonizing endurance. It is me, at 3 a.m, gritting my teeth through my own back pain to gently roll her over so she doesn't get bed sores. It is the clumsy, humiliating process of changing the soiled adult diaper of the woman you once made passionate love to. It is cleaning her, wiping her chin, and doing it all with a gentle smile so she doesn't feel an ounce of shame. Sometimes she opens her eyes. Those eyes that used to look at me with such fierce loyalty, they are clouded now. Dementia is a cruel, relentless thief. Yesterday, she looked right at my face, her voice trembling, and asked, "Excuse me, sir, do you know when my husband is coming home?" Imagine taking a sledgehammer straight to your chest. That is what it feels like. I had to swallow the lump of razor blades in my throat, softly stroke her thinning hair, and lie to her. "He's on his way, sweetheart. He'll be here soon." I sit in the dark beside her bed for hours. I hold her fragile, bony hand. I trace the veins with my thumb, and I beg whatever God is listening. I beg for just one chance to go back to that Tuesday night, just 1 minute to drop my heavy coat, walk up behind her at the sink, wrap my arms around her waist, and whisper, "You're doing enough. I've got this." But time does not negotiate with arrogant men. The bill always comes due. So listen to me, especially you men sitting there watching this. Men in your late 40s, your 50s. You look in the mirror, you see the gray spreading in your beard, the widening of your waist, and panic sets in. You start convincing yourself that your marriage is dead, that you and your wife have grown apart. You start looking at younger women, looking at your phone, chasing distractions, thinking they hold some secret formula to make you feel alive again. You buy the stupid sports car. You start picking fights with your wife over absolutely nothing, just trying to build an excuse to walk out that door. Let me tell you exactly what is happening. You are not falling out of love. You are just a coward. You are terrified. Your fragile male ego is screaming because you are no longer the young buck conquering the world. You want the excitement, the chase, the cheap dopamine hit of a new romance because it distracts you from the brutal, terrifying reality that you are getting old, that the party is winding down. You think love is supposed to be this endless fountain of youth, fireworks, and physical perfection. That is a child's fantasy. The culture sold you a lie, and your massive ego bought it wholesale. You actually believe you deserve to be endlessly entertained and catered to by your partner. But real love, late life love, is not about receiving. It has never been about receiving. It is a grueling, magnificent act of endurance. It is looking at the woman who gave you her youth, who bore the brunt of your blind ambition, who raised your children while you were busy playing God in your career, and deciding that you will stand by her as her body breaks down. Any boy can chase a skirt. Any boy can pack a suitcase and leave when the conversation gets boring. But to stay, to watch the woman you love slowly fade away, and to carry that weight on your back without complaining, that requires a spine made of steel. That requires a monster of a man. Your ego is a parasite. It will tell you that you deserve better. It will tell you that you are suffocating. Kill it. Kill that ego right now, before it kills the only good thing you have left, before you end up like me, wishing for a time machine you can never buy.
Arthur is 82. I am 28. Sitting here, listening to him behind this microphone, my heart literally breaks. But strangely, it also gives me a profound sense of hope. My generation spends our 20s and 30s obsessing over the perfect wedding, the flawless partner, the aesthetic lifestyle. We run at the first sign of boredom. We swipe left on anything that requires effort. But what Arthur just described, that agonizing, terrifying, yet unbelievably beautiful endurance, that is the love I pray I have when I am in my twilight years. I don't want the romance of a movie. I want a man who will sit in the dark and hold my hand when I forget my own name. For the men listening out there, Arthur has a few final words for you. Things you need to do tonight, before it's too late.
So, what do you do now? How do you stop the rot before it eats through the floorboards of your life? You start tonight, not tomorrow. Tonight, I am going to give you 3 things to do, 3 acts of endurance. Number 1, stop demanding and start serving. When you walk through that front door tonight, you do not ask what is for dinner. You do not complain about the noise, the bills, or the stress of your day. You take off your heavy coat and you hang it up yourself. You walk into the kitchen, you look at the chaos, and you say, "Go sit down, I've got this." You do the mundane, invisible work that you have been too arrogant to notice for the last 20 years. Number 2, look at her. I don't mean a passing glance over your newspaper or your glowing screen. I mean, really look at her face tonight. Look at the crow's feet around her tired eyes. Look at the silver strands hiding in her hair. Those are not flaws, gentlemen. Those are the battle scars of a life spent keeping your world from falling apart. She paid for your peace of mind with her own youth. You look at those wrinkles and you honor that debt. Number 3, build your endurance right now. When the next fight happens, and it will, when the silence gets heavy, when you feel that familiar, cowardly urge to grab your car keys and run, plant your feet. Stay in the damn room. Swallow that massive ego of yours, look her in the eyes and say, I am not leaving. We are going to figure this out. Become the anchor, not the storm. Because I promise you this, the clock is ticking mercilessly. A day is coming, faster than you can possibly comprehend, when the music will stop, the illness will arrive, the frailty will set in, the shadows in your house will grow very, very long, and on that day she will not be able to carry her side of the weight anymore. You will have to carry it all. If you spend your strong years running away from the hard work of love, you will be utterly crushed when the real test begins. Late life love is not a gift you unwrap. It is a heavy, sacred cross. It is the ultimate test of your manhood. So go home. Go to the woman who loved you when you were nothing, and carry the weight. Carry it like a man, before you end up sitting in a dark, quiet house, begging time for a second chance you will never, ever get.
Wow. I don't know about you, but Arthur's words hit me right in the chest. Carry it like a man. He reminded us today that true masculinity isn't about never falling. It's about the strength to stay and the grace to endure. Stories like Arthur's raw, unpolished, and devastatingly real are exactly why we created the DuskMan. We want to strip away the noise of modern life and bring you the profound wisdom of those who have actually lived it. If you are watching this and you have a story of your own, a lesson you learned the hard way, a regret you want to warn others about, or a truth you need to pass down before it's too late, please share it with us. You can find our email in the description below. Your story might just save someone's life or someone's marriage tonight. And if this video made you pause, if it made you think, or if it simply made you want to be a better partner, hit that subscribe button. Join our community. Let's continue building a legacy of truth together. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.